No, get off his neck.
It's no human.
What are you going to tell him today?
Hello, Mr. Marty.
What are you going to tell him today?
Hi, Mr. Marty. Where are you, Mr. Marty?
You think he's taking a nap?
Yes.
You going to go take a nap?
Jinx. Nope.
Nope.
I'm playing a game.
You're going to play a game? What game are you going to play? You don't know?
Alright, you have to.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. Elizabeth, help him. We're all going to fall.
Sorry.
All right, go.
I'm taking to the doors. I'm doing those on
Austin, that's enough. Go. All right. All right. Today we are ending our series that we've talked about the past 13 weeks about the different type of women you should and should not be. Today we're talking about the truthful woman, and it kind of goes along with last week. We talked about the merciful woman. We have to have mercy because we're not perfect. We have to have leniency, but not to the point that we are disregarding God's word, not to the point that we are walked all over, not to the point that we become the Christian that we should not be. 3 things that you have to be the truthful woman. To be the truthful woman, there's 3 things you must do. The first thing is you have to learn it. You have to learn truth. The second thing is you have to value it. You have to value the truth. The third thing is then you have to speak it. We speak the truth. A woman who learns the truth learns the truth because she values it. And then the one who values the truth will inevitably begin to share the truth. So we can see all 3 of these things go together. But the first thing is you have to learn it. How do you learn it? There'll be parts in this Devo, you learn it by watching other people. You learn it by reading the Bible. You learn by studying for yourself. I'll be honest, I've had another teacher tell me, and I guess I never really thought about it, because I honestly have taught Bible class since as long as I can remember. And so this lady who teaches came up to me one day and says, I like teaching Bible class. It makes me study more. I study. I prepare my lesson. I learn more. She said each week I learned something I didn't know because I was forced myself to study. So she learns it. So we have to learn the truth. We have first to me, yes, you have to learn it. You got to have that want. You got to have that desire. You got to have that drive to say, okay, this is what I want. I want my life to go this way. I want to do this. So I'm going to learn it. And then when I learn it, okay, and then I'm going to value it. I'm not just going to shove it to the side and say, okay, that's great. But, I'm in this situation and what the truth tells me to do, I just don't want to do it right now. I'm angry. I'm mad. Or that just doesn't fit my lifestyle. So I'm going to tweak it a little bit. I'm not going to do it. We're just going to put it aside. We're just going to skip that point right now. So then if I don't value it, I will never speak it. I will never tell other people now I'll tell them my opinion. I'll tell them how I think about it, but I won't speak the truth if I don't value it. And when I did this, I used the example of grandkids last week, and this is what kept going through my mind this week. Not so much you learn grandkids, but if you talk to any grandparent, we were at the grocery store the other day, and they said there was a lady there, and she said that, grandkids make life better. Why didn't we have grandkids first? And I've heard that a lot, especially since I have had kids. But grandparents value their children and their grandchildren. And I have yet to find a grandparent that doesn't have that picture on the phone, that doesn't have that picture in their purse, doesn't have that picture in their car, or wherever you walk in their house and there's pictures of grandkids. As soon as you walk in, that's the first thing you see. What do? They share it. How many times you have a grandchild and you just can't hold that news? Oh, they said their first word. They crawled. They started school. They fill in the blank. What is that? They value that and they want to share it. It's so easy to do that about things we care about family, about grandkids, about whatever. How easy is that to the Bible? Do we value the Bible enough to learn it, value it, and then want to share it with people? As Christian women, we need to have truth. This is important. And I never thought about this fact. I guess I've always known it. I just really didn't study it. But this is important in church because think about it. Think about the congregation you attend. When you go in and you sit down, you look around the congregation. How many women are in that church? Are there more men or are there more women? And I got to thinking about it. And the 3 churches that I've been in my life, I can honestly say there were more men than women. So who does this responsibility to teach the word, to teach the truth, to learn the truth come from? It comes from the women. Now, I'm not saying that the preacher's not important. I'm not saying that the men's roles in church are not important. They absolutely are. But most people are going to look at the women. Look at the children in the church. Do a lot of them run up to the males? No. They're always going to that older woman who has a piece of candy for them every week. They're always running to the grandmas or to the females that always come in and, hey, so-and-so, hey, so-and-so. It's just natural. So that puts more of a weight on us women to learn the truth because people are watching us. People are watching us. Yes, they watch the men too, but people watch the women because there's more of us. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this because men are very active, but they may be more active behind the scenes. The women are the ones that are what? Preparing the communion, cleaning up the communion, getting meals ready, cleaning up the meals. If there's a special day coming up, they're the ones decorating. They're the ones making sure the pews are all nice and neat, making sure stuff's put away, making sure the classrooms are organized. Not saying that the men aren't doing the heavy lifting and moving the tables around and all that, but they're kind of behind the scenes. You see the women. And again, people are watching from little kids up to adults. They're watching. So that means we are left to teach the truth. The women are left to do that. So are we? Are we teaching the truth? Are we teaching the truth by our actions? Are we teaching the truth by our attitude? Are we teaching the truth by our lifestyle? Do we even know the truth so that we are able to teach it? Think about it. I think in my 40 years, I've had one male teacher, one male Bible class teacher. Who typically fills those roles? The women. So we need to be able to know the truth so we can teach others. Like I have probably said in every single devotional in the past 3 years that we have done this, that we have to know the truth, we have to seek it. We have to go look for it. We have to study it. We have to read the Bible every day. It's not just going to just pop in our heads. It's not just going to miraculously come to us and we're going to know everything. We have to study it. We all need to strive to be the Christians God calls us to be. So that in a nutshell is the truth. The whole thing about the truthful woman is we have to know the truth. And we want to know it so we can share it. We can live it. We can be the Christian God wants us to be. So to wrap up this entire study, we're going all the way back to lesson number 1. We need to get rid of all distractions. Anything that prevents us from being a Christian. Anything in our life that is preventing us from being the Christian that we need to be. Second, we don't need to be a woman of folly. The woman of folly is idle. We should not be idle. We should always be looking for ways to help others. Next, we're supposed to be Lady Wisdom. Be the woman whose steps are never hindered and not stumble at the things that are thrown at us in our lifetime. We need to be Lady Wisdom. Next, our trust. Where does our trust lie? Does it lie in God? Does it lie in the world? Don't be the angry woman. Remember, slow to anger. Think about it. Process it. Think about what the other person is going through, how they may take things, how they are doing things. Be slow to anger. We are to have a gentle heart, gentle speech, and gentle actions. We're supposed to be approachable. We are not to be the whispering woman. Remember, the whispering woman is the gossiper. We are not supposed to be a gossiper. We're supposed to be the gracious woman, because the gracious woman has genuine kindness, genuine warmth, is compassionate, and has good speech. The gracious woman is also the same woman behind closed doors than not behind closed doors. She's the same person in public, the same person outside public, the same person in the house as she is at work, the same person at work that she is on the ball field, the same person on the ball field that she is at church. She is the same person. We should not be sluggish. We can't be lazy. We have to be diligent. Because why do we need to be diligent? Because what are we going to do? We're going to reap what we sow. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's of God or of the world, we reap what we sow. We have to have mercy. And with mercy, we have to have some lenience, because we all make mistakes. We have to have that little grace period, grace section that, okay, I'm going to fall, but how far am I going to fall? Okay? We have to be lenient because we are not perfect. And lastly, like we talked about today, we have to be truthful, because we should have the desire to know the truth, want to know the truth, then we should want to share it with others. And I struggled with this for a long time, because part of me says, okay, well, that means I've got to go, and every person I meet, all my coworkers, my neighbors, my whoever, people at church, my Bible class teachers, my friends on Facebook, whatever, I've got to sit there and, constantly say, okay, well, this is wrong, and you should be doing this, and kind of like point out all their faults. And it took me a long time to realize that's not what this is saying. I am supposed to share it with others, but I heard something and it made a lot of sense to me. You can't just go if you see, even if it's your friend, or say someone starts coming to church. The example they used was a woman came to church and was very, very inappropriately dressed for church. Was not a Christian by any means, and you could tell that. And they said we had two options. We could either invite her to come sit with us, or we could shun her and never speak to her, never go up to her, never do anything. Well, the preacher's wife, well, she's not the preacher anymore, but a lady in the church went up and asked her to sit with her. She said, I started a relationship with that woman. I got her name. I started talking to her, and I don't know where the story led, but that's our steps we should take. You get to know the person. Then, not just after the second time, she comes back the next week and you say, okay, well, what you're wearing is not appropriate. You make a bond. You make a friendship. You meet outside of the church, whether it's going out to eat, whether it's inviting her into your home, whether it is going to her house, whether it's meeting in the middle somewhere. You create that friendship where today you don't really call, you text, or you Facebook, or you do whatever. You start doing that. Then when the time is right, then you address the way you should dress. What is appropriate and what's not appropriate. What is attention seeking and what is not. And I guess I've never thought of that, because you always hear, the truth. Tell others truth. If they're in sin, they're living in sin, you need to tell them and, just get right on them. We talked about one week, being kind, the way we say it. But I never thought about the process. The Bible just tells us to tell them the truth. It doesn't say the minute you see they do something wrong, you go and tell them, hey, you sinned. Or the minute they walk in the building, hey, you've sinned. And the big thing going on right now is homosexuality. It is girls liking girls liking boys, people not knowing what they are, to be honest. There's so many words for it right now. And it's starting at a young age. And I'm talking, Elizabeth is 7, and she is already interacting with this kind of stuff. She's already seen it, and we're having to have discussions of why that's not right and that's wrong. Now, I'm not going to run up to this little girl and say, hey, you're wrong. You can't like this other girl. You don't do that in public. You don't do that. when you're out somewhere. Now, if this little girl was to come to my house and we knew this little girl, I would get with her parents and yes, we would talk about it. But not just somebody, when Elizabeth comes home, goes, hey, mama, so-and-so at school said she likes so-and-so and they were doing this. No, that's not my responsibility to go up to that school, find that little girl and tell her, hey, what you're doing is wrong. And I think you all understand what I'm saying. You have to create the friendship. And I think that's where a lot of things have changed over the years, because I have heard stories of where people have walked into a church building and they are met at the door and they are told, well, you did this, 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 and this. You can't come in until you change this, 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 and this. So we have to know the truth so that we, like we've talked about in previous lessons, know how to share it, know how to approach it, know how to, I don't want to say correct other people's mistakes, but show them where they're in error. But how do we show them if we don't know ourselves? And I see this more in older people. I'm talking people my age, 40 and younger. Like we talked about last week, Elizabeth has that desire right now to sit down and study the Word. I don't see that in the people my age. I'm in a group that's studying the Bible. And honestly, I'm the youngest person by far in this group. It is a hard study. It's very hard. I'll be honest. We're in the 4th week and I'm already so far behind. I haven't finished the 1st week. But I attend every week. And I get something out of it from learning from them. But I have to have that desire. I'm talking 6 o'clock in the morning. We're on the computer. We're up. We're on it. We're studying the Bible. Am I asleep? Yes. Is my video on? No. You don't see my face. I don't talk. I listen. It's early in the morning. But I guess class don't start till 7. But by the time you get up at 6. But that's that desire. Do we have that desire to want to grow, to learn? Do we want to know the truth? Do we want to be the truthful woman that God has called us to be? So this study has ended. I think next week I found when we were at a conference back in June, I think, that is called Unsung Heroes. We talk about women of the Bible. This is men of the Bible. And then there is another book called More Unsung Heroes, but they're actually villains. Bad, really bad people of the Bible. So I thought that'd be kind of a twist. We're going to see how that works. But that's what we're going to start next week. We'll be talking about our first male of the Bible and what we can learn from them, what we should learn from them, stuff like that. I hope everyone has a great week. Thank you for listening, and I will see you here next week.